Hey, what's up, guys? This is Melo here. Before I start off this top 10, I want to apologize real quick. Just because we have been liking the videos. But I don't want you guys to think that it's not that we're not feeling Yu-Gi-Oh no more or YouTube in general. It's just that we don't want to force videos and you know being low quality or whatever. YouTube is just a hobby, and we intend to keep it as such, not feel pressure under any circumstances. So we're gonna kick this off. Starting at number 10, we have Summoner's Art and or Scout. I couldn't decide just because the fact that nowadays in Clifford's, this is meant for Clifford's, but it can be a really like a big game changer. If you top deck either Summoner's Art, which is basically a scout, and your opponent has no response to your scout, you can go from having no field to having a full field. And by this, I mean you can pay the 100, search out your pendulum, one scale, which may basically could be carrier, or now that you have monoloth, it all depends. Um, and then you can just basically soul charge, and by that I mean pendulum summon other monsters you have in your extra deck. So that's why this card is in at the number 10, just because it is a big game changer, but it's only for one deck. Now, number 9, we have a similar card, which is Saturnite Altair. I didn't have, I couldn't decide really between Altair or the Deneb, but I think Altair is better just in the sense that you can go from not having anything to go into your to having like an exceed or something. For example, you can go tier into the neb search, and go from there. But if you just top deck at the neb, you summon and search. I really don't know how Satellite Knights work, but I think the Altair will be a bigger game changer than the neb, just because, like I said, you can spam the board. It's basically um it's basically like pendulum summoning, but using your graveyard. Then number 8, we have Dark Hole. Dark Hole has seemed to be falling out of like favoritism just because Raggy is back, but honestly, I believe that Dark Hole is one of the big game changers still. Just because if you're playing decks like Bernabes, Ying Zangs, or maybe Shaddolls even, then you can Dark Hole and your own monsters, and it wouldn't matter because you will plus out of it. Um, and then if your opponent can't come back from that, then you can even OTK in their turn, and it all depends if you time it right. At number 7, we have MST, and MST is one of the big game changers nowadays. MST can go from having you stuck completely with a vanities, a shadow, or light imprison the mirror, or whatever other card that might be that it's like a spell trap that has you stuck. Um, you can get rid of the card and go completely off. But the fact that it's only like his puzzle traps makes it go to spot number 7. Um, for spot number 6, we have Light and Shadow Prisoner. These cards can now stop 2 out of the 3 main decks, and many others. Many decks, you side this in against them, and they can simply just not recover. But because it's only for certain decks, they sit at number 6. At spot number 5, we have Excitonite. Excitonite, it's a really good card, a really good resetter. I have lost to this card so many times just because it can make your opponent from having a full board to have nothing, and you from having nothing to a full board. The only thing is that it does require 2 monsters, so in that case, you're really not top decking, but can be used in combination with like Soul Charge or any other card like that. That can help you. But this card is definitely a big game changer. Then at number 4, we have Rageki. Rageki is back. Rageki, honestly, it is still broken because it only affects, unlike Dark Hole, it only affects your opponent. But this card can be really, really broken if you time it right. If you're going for OTK, it's just this card is just completely a big game changer. It can go from your opponent having all their boss monsters out to having nothing, and then you can just spam the board and completely flip the tables on your opponent. Number three, we have Soul Charge. Soul Charge is a really, really good card. It was broken when it was a three. It's broken when it's a one. Um, it's really good, but I don't think it's that good to go get banned just because of all the costs you have to pay. Although although you don't conduct your battle phase, but you can completely spam the board with exceeds, which is, you can do infinite things. Like I said, you can go into exciting night. I don't know, Gaga Cowboys for a game, or whatever the case may be. Uh, the fact that you don't get to attack doesn't really matter because it's just anything can happen. In spot number two, we have Mirror Force. This card seems to be getting little to no play. I still cite this card just because I believe that many players nowadays don't play around this card anymore. They forget that this card still exists, just like magical cylinder and cards like that. These cards are really good. They're just not meta. But honestly, if you flip, like many of your opponents will, once they see you have a open field with like two back rows or whatever, they would not care and they will waste all their resources trying to go for a game, and they will never expect a mirror force. And since they already used all their resources, they just cannot recover because some decks are just really bad at top decking, and it just happens. You flip a mirror force and they just look at you and it's like, you really like, do you really run this? It's an amazing card. I believe it's one of the cards that can change a game completely. And then a number one spot, it's a card that everybody is happy slash confused slash mad that they brought it back, and that's Snatch. Still, this card, I really don't know why Konami brought it back. They need to put it back where it came from in the ban list. This card is broken. I have lost to this card so many times, and I'm not the only one that can relate to that. I'm pretty sure there's many duelists over there that want this card back in the ban list, just because the fact that your opponent can take your monster, maybe you have your boss monster out and they can't get over it, and then they snatch and steal your monster, and they're gonna do whatever they want with that card. The fact that you get 1,000 life points every standby phase, that doesn't really matter, because if they snatch and steal your boss monster or just any card in general, the most likely they're gonna snatch and steal the better card, right? Because they can't get over it. Most likely you're gonna die that turn. So that doesn't really matter. So this card needs to go back to being banned. But it is a game changer. It's a huge game changer. And that has been proven endless time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10. Remember, this is just my opinion. But feel free to leave a comment below letting me know, what are your top 10 game changing cards? And then give us idea for future videos, what other top 10s you would like to see. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys later. Bye.